Elion, nephew, are you here? Yes, sir. I wanted to discuss with you your latest and surprisingly poor test scores, but I'm not sure you're even up to it. What's been the matter with you these past couple of weeks? What do you mean, Uncle Eldon? You're always tired, your studies have gone AWOL, you're unable to complete the obstacle course I assigned for your physical training, you're pale and easily distracted. Well, come to think of it, Great Uncle Eldon, you're right. I haven't been feeling well lately. I must be getting sick or something. Yuck. My hands are all sticky from the apple pastries I had for breakfast. Apple pastries for breakfast? Yes, sir. Did you have some? They are wonderful. Almost as wonderful as the cherry pie I had for supper last night. I see. And for dinner? Ooh, the best of all. Chocolate cake with double chocolate frosting topped with whipped cream. I see. Tell me, nephew, how do the king and queen feel about your recent, dietary changes? Oh, they don't know about it. I've been telling them I need to study, so I eat in my room. Cook sends up soup and meat and vegetables, but I throw all that out and eat what I like. I may have detected the problem. What problem? All those sweets you've been eating without eating any food that's good for you are ruining your health and killing your mental capacities. What? Nah. Food is food. Calories in, calories out. It doesn't make any difference what you eat. Oh? Who told you that? My friends back home. And you believe them instead of the grown-ups who care about you. I'll make a deal with you, Elion. What kind of deal? For the next 2 weeks, you eat at the table with your grandparents, and you eat a reasonable serving of everything on the table, and only a very, very small serving of dessert. Aww! And you read from God's Word in the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verses 1 through 15, every day, along with Romans 6:13 and 12:1. And what do I get for doing all that? If, after 2 weeks, or most or all of the symptoms you mentioned have not cleared up, I'll say nothing from now on about what you eat. But if you're doing much better, then you continue eating as I've prescribed, indefinitely. Well... what's the matter? Do you suddenly doubt your friend's dietary advice? Well, actually, I just remembered what's in Daniel 1 through 15. My mama read the book of Daniel to me a few months before she died. It's still one of my favorites. Oh? Yeah, it's about a whole bunch of boys captured from Judah and taken to Babylon, an enemy country. 4 of those boys didn't want to defile themselves with the rich foods and wine from the king's table, so they got their caregivers to feed them only vegetables and water. After a few days, they looked healthier than the rest of the boys. So you see that God's Word backs up my eating plan? Yeah, but what do the other references say? Romans 6:13b says, "Yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God." Chapter 12:1 says, "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service." Do you want to offer damaged goods to God? After all, he gives us each only one body while we're here on earth. Shouldn't you take care of it so that you can actually live while you're alive and not just waste air that you breathe? That all makes an awful lot of sense, Great Uncle. Oh, those rats! And I thought I was too smart for them. Pardon me? Those so-called friends of mine. They convinced me that eating right was just a trick by adults to make us kids eat what we hate. They were doing the same thing to me that Lady Iris was doing to Lily, trying to ruin me, and I fell for it. Great Uncle Eldon, thank you. You just saved my life, let alone my future as king of my papa's realm. Thank you. So you do agree to change your eating habits? Yes, sir. And when I get home, my friends are going to get nothing but sugar to eat for the rest of their lives. Well, at least they'll die happy. But maybe a better idea would be for our next lesson to be about forgiveness. Okay, all right. Along with advice on how to make a lot of changes in the relationships between royals and staff in the castles. You got it. Now let's go see if we can't find some real food. I'm in. Do you think there's any of that venison steak left, and maybe some mashed potatoes and green beans, and maybe even some salad, and